It is Super Bowl week, and for just the third time in 7 years, a team from the NFC West is not in the big game, but the NFC West huddle goes on regardless. I'm Aaron Levine here in Seattle, joined by our friends across the division, Gerard Moncure in Los Angeles, Richard Sines in Phoenix, and Bailey O'Carroll in San Francisco. So, guys, let's get right to it. Super Bowl 59 on Fox this Sunday. First question, who wins this game? The Chiefs or the Eagles, and why? Richard, you got honors this week. Who you got?
Well, I'm going to say this has been a remedy for success since 1967 when the Packers played the Chiefs in Super Bowl I, right? And I wrote it down in my diary. We got to get the diary in there right away, right? And the reason the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl is because of defense and ground and pound. It's amazing how the defense wins the game for you. Yes, offenses win games, but defenses win championships. And when you get a ground game like the Eagles have, and Saquon Barkley, it's going to be his birthday, by the way, that's also a defense to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. I know a lot of people are saying, you're really going to pick against Mahomes? Yes, I'm going to do it. This is the first time I've ever done it, but it's because of defense and running the football. And that's what the Eagles do. They have the number one defense in the league, and that's their calling card. That's what they hang their hat on, and I think that's going to be the difference in this game.
Well, Gerard, you're next. You got Philly or the Chiefs?
Give me Patrick Mahomes, 365, and twice on Sunday. This guy is working on a three-peat. They're working on history. He is a proven winner. In the clutch, he makes the big plays when they matter most on the biggest stage. I will take him over Jalen Hurts. Give me Andy Reid, who is progressed and matured as a head coach and a play caller. I was in Philadelphia when he could not win the big game. They lost 3 straight NFC championship games when I worked there. And all he's done now is win Super Bowl titles. With Mahomes, he's going for a three-peat. And then also, here's my stat for you on this game. You look back, I know the Super Bowl is a little different than the regular season or the postseason, but the Chiefs have won 12 one-score games. What are they right now? A 1.5-point favorite? Give me Kansas City. They have proven they know how to win close games all season long. I don't know why Sunday would be any different.
Okay, I will go next. I'll admit this is my heart speaking, but I'm going to take the Eagles here. The Chiefs, an amazing team, but I've been waiting all season for them to lose a close game. You just mentioned it there, Gerard. I think this is finally the time it happens. The Chiefs have played 6 games this season determined by 3 points or less. They've won all 6 of them. But when a team has that many close games, I can't view them as a dominant team. That's why I think there's an opening here, especially against an Eagles team that's played some of the best football I've seen over the last month and a half. That offensive line just dominant. Saquon Barkley, yeah, it's his birthday. He's also been on a tear. At least 109 rushing yards in 5 of his last 6 games. Playoff totals of 118 yards, 119 yards, 205 rushing yards against the Rams. I think the Eagles are the full package. I know the Chiefs are favored by 1.5 points, but I think this game is Philly's to win. And finally, Bailey, who's your pick on Sunday?
I'm going to even it out here. We've got 2 Eagles. I'm going to pick the Chiefs. I've learned to never, ever bet against Patrick Mahomes. And in a game like the Super Bowl, I think regular season records, stats, I throw those out the window. This is a game in and of itself. And you just can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes magic. He figures out a way to win games. It doesn't matter who else is on his team. He'll win the game himself. And I just don't think there's a more dominant player on the Eagles. Yeah, Saquon Barkley, obviously phenomenal. Jalen Hurts, phenomenal. But Patrick Mahomes thrives in these types of situations. And obviously you talk about the three-peat. So there's an added chip on their shoulder going into this one. I think Niners fans would love nothing more than to see the Chiefs lose this game. But I just can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. It's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and you gave it away with the Band-Aid on your pinky with the Chiefs colors there, Bailey. So we knew you were going to even things out and go 50-50 on this show. Okay, next topic. We don't necessarily condone sports betting on this show, but the Super Bowl also ends up creating some of the best prop bets of the entire year. What is the best prop bet you have seen for this weekend? Gerard, you're up first this time.
Well, Aaron, you kind of talked about it. To me, it's pretty simple. Saquon Barkley over 110 yards. Aaron, you said it in the 3 playoff games. He rattled off 119 against Green Bay, 205 against my Rams, and then 118 or 119 against the Commanders, 118 against Green Bay. So he went over in all 3 of those games. And then if you look at what Kansas City's defense has been doing in the postseason, even though I'm betting on the Chiefs to win the game, they gave up 149 rushing against the Texans in the divisional. Joe Mixon had 88 of those. And in the AFC Championship game, they gave up 147 to the Bills. James Cook picked up 88 on his own in that game. If you do the math, and you believe in the numbers and you believe in trends, it's simple. Saquon over 110 in the Super Bowl. It's easy. It's easy. It should be easy money.
Yeah, lock of the week from Gerard Moncure. I love that. Bailey, you're next. What's the best prop bet you've seen so far?
So I went with some fun prop bets. I mean, obviously you have the tush-push bets, all those types of things. But how many times will Taylor Swift be shown in the game? I'm sorry, I'm the only female here, so I have to speak for all of us. I'm a Swiftie, I'll say it. How many times will she be shown in the game? Though I secretly wanted the Bills to be in the Super Bowl because I think Josh Allen getting engaged to Haley Steinfeld, how many times would she have been shown? But the other thing is Tom Brady. He's been so much of the conversation surrounding this game in his rookie season in the booth for Fox. What color tie will he wear? I mean, it's real. The list is so long, and the amount of bets people have placed on it are insane. People betting that he's going to wear an orange tie. Like, can we really imagine Tom Brady wearing an orange tie? I wouldn't put money on it, but some people are doing that. So yes, while we have the football bets, I took a look at some of the non-football related bets. And by the way, blue tie for Brady is plus 175. So that's leading the way.
Listen, I'm in your corner, Bailey, especially on the Taylor Swift bet because it's over under 5.5. And I've said, and I've been on the record, she's on CBS all the time. She's old hat over there. But this is Fox. They have a chance to show her as many times as possible. I think they're going to milk the heck out of it. Take the over 5.5 times. You're going to see Taylor Swift during the game. Also, the other one, and you kind of touched on it when it came to Josh Allen, but whether Travis Kelce proposes to Taylor Swift at the end of this game. The current market is around 7 or 8 to 1. I'll be honest. I think it's a total sucker bet. You have a better chance of rolling a hard 10 or a hard 4 at the craps table for those same odds than blowing money on that prop bet. As far as bets that I would make, Saquon Barkley, negative 190 to score 1 touchdown at any point of the game. You're not getting a huge return for that bet. Basically, you'd be winning, $5.50 for a $10 bet. I kind of like Saquon to score 2 touchdowns in this game, and those odds are about 3 to 1. So you can make $30 on that same $10 bet. That's a much better return. A lot more worth it than betting on 1 score. So I'm going to take Saquon Barkley to score 2 touchdowns on Sunday against the Chiefs. And Richard, what's your favorite prop bet you've seen so far?
Well, it's funny. When you said that you were in Bailey's corner, I thought you were a Swiftie too. I was just going to because I would have said that makes 3 of us because I'm a Swiftie, Bailey. I'm with you. I love her. I mean, I don't know why people don't like her. She's amazing. She writes her own stuff. And going back to the Eagles, I think the reason they're going to win it this time, they had the game here just 2 years ago. They had the Chiefs at halftime. They led after 3 quarters. This year, they're going to shake it off. They're going to win. Because you looked at that last Super Bowl and you had a blank space and you said, what do the Eagles need? They would need Saquon Barkley. You would put his name in that blank space. So I'm saying the Eagles win it because of that. And I'm a Swiftie. But my prop bet, I'm going to go with the entertainment thing as well. The national anthem. It's 120 and a half seconds, right? I'm going to take the over. John Batista singing the national anthem. I mean, that guy, he loves to stretch it out. The last time he sang the national anthem at the Super Bowl, he went exactly 120 and a half, but now he's more comfortable. He's going to showboat a little bit. Plus, the last 8 times, the singer that sang the national anthem has gone over their allotted time. So it's the over. That's an easy bet. That's a 401k special. Put all the money you got on that bet right there, and then once again, we got 2 Swifties on this cast right now. I thought we had 3 for a second there.
Yeah, with all those Taylor Swift references, I still can't understand how you went the Eagles because you would be going for the red team as a Taylor Swift fan, not just because of Kelce, but because one of her former albums is actually named Red. Third topic. Cooper Kupp has been informed that the Rams will be trading him. What kind of realistic trade do you think the Rams can get for him? Now, since Gerard's the expert, I'm going to let him listen to all of our amateur thoughts first. So Bailey goes first this time. What can the Rams get for Cooper Kupp?
As a fantasy owner of Cooper Kupp this past season, yeah, not much, right? He's 32 years old. He's coming off of his worst season in the NFL. If this was 3 years ago, obviously it would have been a completely different story. They could have gotten, I don't want to say anything, but, this is going to, we talk about LA and the Luka AD trade. This is going to be nothing like that. I think they're lucky if they get a 5th, 6th round pick, maybe 5th, because I do think he still has some gas left in the tank. But, they got a 6th round pick for Cam Akers, and I don't think that's much different than the situation at hand right now. Again, I had him on my fantasy team this year, and Cooper Kupp was maybe good for 5 points a week. So if we equate that to draft rounds, yeah, maybe a 5th round pick.
Richard, you're next. What kind of value does Kupp bring to the table in a trade?
Well, it's funny because after you mentioned the Band-Aid that Bailey's wearing, I can't stop looking at it now. That's all I see. And then she's purposely, but I'm like this. I'm like a dog with a treat looking at the Band-Aid the whole time. So, yeah, I saw that. I'm like, yeah, it is Kansas City Chiefs red. But anyway, yeah, and speaking of fantasy football, the Chimichangas and our scout team, we passed on Cooper Kupp. We knew that there was just too much tread on those tires, right? So I'm thinking that, LA's already got Luka, right? They got the train robbery of the century. Not this time. I think they can get a bag of balls, a bag of brand new footballs at least, though. They could probably get a bag of balls from the Cardinals or somebody that needs a possession receiver. But with Puka Nacua there, you saw the writing on the wall. The Cooper Kupp's not the guy he used to be. So I say a bag of brand new Wilson footballs with good laces on them. That'd be a decent trade for the Rams.
Yeah, I like it. And I'll go next. Most experts say the Rams won't be able to trade Kupp without paying a majority of his salary for next season. If that's the case, that's an intriguing situation for any trading partner. If I'm the Rams, I accept. Probably going to have to take a $22 million cap hit and try to get anything of value in return, whether it's a bag of balls or something else. Shop the guy around, sell to the highest bidder, right? And I'm phrasing it that way as a question because, Gerard, you're more in tune with this than any of us. What do you think about the whole situation and what the Rams can get in return?
Well, let me say this. As an Angelino, this is hard. It's been a hard week for Angelinos on the football front for the Rams and Cooper Kupp. He has meant so much to the city. Obviously, he was Super Bowl 56 MVP, but 8 years in the league, and it's taking its toll. Those knees, those legs, those calves, those ankles. He's had a multitude of injuries, and he's slowing down. There's no doubt. This year, 67 catches, 710 yards, only 6 touchdowns. There are 2 Cooper Kupp plays that stand out to me on who he used to be. Okay, let's go back to that year where they won the Super Bowl, and they were on their way to blowing the game again in Tampa against Tom Brady and company, probably looking at overtime, and the Bucs go 0 coverage, and he runs right past the safety by 5 yards, makes the big catch. Rams go down, they kick the field goal, they win the game. They go on to the NFC Championship game, beat Bailey's Niners, and the rest is history as they beat the Bengals. In that Super Bowl 56 game against the Bengals, you guys probably remember this too. They were deep in their own territory, 4th quarter, 4th down about 2 yards. Sean McVay, instead of punting the ball with timeouts left, rolls the dice, and what does he call? He runs an end around to Cooper Kupp, who picks up about 8 yards and the first down. Drive stays alive. They go on and they win the game on a 14-play drive. But that was the Cooper Kupp then. This is not the Cooper Kupp now. And what I'm getting at is everyone knows the age is caught up to him. There's not a ton of separation right now. In this situation, for a guy that's 31, you're probably looking at best, if the Rams eat a big portion of that salary, a 3rd round pick, but most likely a 4th round pick is what is probably the best they're going to do in this situation. And it's sad here in the Southland over this, and also it could be having a little effect on this Matthew Stafford situation that's going on right now, where they're trying to get him to restructure his salary. And there's been talks that he and Kelly, the wife, they might say no and keep a hard line and end up walking out of town. So there's a lot going on with the Rams and Cooper Kupp leaking into Matthew Stafford as well.
Yeah, no offense, but this is one of those times I'd like to conjure up my best Judge Smales and say, you'll get nothing and like it. Finally, we're going to put the focus back on the Super Bowl. What is your favorite go-to Super Bowl food and all-time Super Bowl ad? I'll go first on this one. Can we just talk about Super Bowl Sunday being that last real hurdle for anyone hanging on to those New Year's resolutions about eating the right way and working out regularly? I mean, most people have already broken those resolutions by now, but if you've made it that far, then you show up to that Super Bowl party and you get chicken wings and pizza and nachos and sweets and beer and 7-layer dip shoved in your face, and you're supposed to have the willpower to say, no, I'll have this piece of celery instead. That is cruel and unusual punishment. Back to the initial question, though, I'm going to go with 7-layer dip because I never eat it the rest of the year, but inevitably it's just sitting there in front of me with tortilla chips at the Super Bowl party, and I find myself going to town, and the next thing I know, the 7-layer dip is a 2-layer dip, and the entire bag of chips are gone. And I'm sad that I have terrible numbers in that betting squares game, and it's all just bad. My favorite Super Bowl ad, I love the Budweiser What's Up, guys, and I'm also not sure if it was originally a Super Bowl ad, but the Snickers commercial with the field maintenance guys spelling chefs in the end zone instead of Chiefs, it still holds up after all of these years. Gerard, you're next. Best Super Bowl food and best Super Bowl ad.
Best Super Bowl food is nachos. Why? Because you make yourself a big fat plate, you get yourself your favorite beverage or 2 or 3 or 4, and you are set for the half, okay? You're good for the first 30 minutes of the game. By the time you get done with your nachos and done with your beverages, it's halftime. And now you got a chance to reload. So you're not missing any of the game. You might miss a little bit of the halftime. But normally where you watch your party, there's a viewing monitor, a flat screen in the kitchen as well, or in another room. So you're not going to miss anything. When it comes to the Super Bowl ads, for me, you nailed it. It's the Bud commercials and the what's up? I mean, that stuff was spectacular. And, you know, it's memorable. Still haven't forgotten it, you know? So there you go.
Yeah, much better than just a QR code in the middle of the screen like we saw last year. Richard, you're next. What you got?
You know, yeah, my go-to food for the Super Bowl is chicken wings, right? I go with the honey barbecue. I don't do spicy. I know people think you're Mexican, right? You're supposed to do the hot sauce. You're supposed to do I don't do tequila. I don't do the hot sauce. My family would call me a coconut. I'm brown on the outside, white on the inside. I can't do that stuff, right? So I get the honey barbecue, and I love it, and I pile it on. And then when it comes to the Super Bowl commercial, I like the Clydesdales, the Budweiser Clydesdales. I used to love those. They're all so good, right? The one with the puppy, the one with they have the replay, and they got the zebra, and he's looking at the replay. And then I like the one, too, where the 2 Cowboys are watching the Clydesdale. They're playing football, and one Cowboy looks and goes, do they always do that? And he goes, no, usually they go for 2. You know, I love those commercials, so that's been my favorite.
And finally, Bailey, bring us home. Best Super Bowl food and ad.
I'm going to start with the ad because you brought it up. I was going to say the most memorable to me is actually the QR code one because it happened and everybody was like, what is this? But it was effective, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody was so curious that then you scan the QR code and everybody has to know. But if we're talking traditional, I'm not going to stray from the pack here. Budweiser ads, I mean, those are a classic. It doesn't get more Super Bowl Sunday than a Budweiser ad with the Clydesdales. If we're talking food, though, mine's a combo. So you have to have chips and guac. I like the hint of lime chips. I'm very particular here. I will say, though, I'm always working on Super Bowl Sunday, so it's been a while since I've attended like a normal Super Bowl party. But I went to a party like years ago. I don't remember how many years ago, and they had a frozen margarita machine. So it was the combo of a frozen margarita and hint of lime chips and guac, and I was just set for the entire day. And to this day, if I think of an ideal day, that's what it is. NFL football, hint of lime chips, guac, and a frozen margarita.
Well, there you have it. You're going to have to bring that frozen margarita thing to work on Sunday when you work.
It's only right.
Yeah,
absolutely. Nothing could go wrong there.
I got to work on Super Bowl Sunday, too. So I'm bringing my RV to Fox 10 Phoenix. I'm bringing my RV. I'm going to barbecue for everybody here at the station. I'm making burgers and dogs. And just for you, Aaron, I can't wait for somebody to say, I want a hamburger, I want a cheeseburger, like Spalding in Caddyshack. And I'm going to say, you're going to have nothing and like it.
I love it.
That'd be great. I have that line ready for you.
Well, it's a big day for us on Sunday. All of the Fox affiliates across the country because the Super Bowl is on Fox. Cannot wait to see the ads that are waiting for us on Sunday as well. A reminder, you can see the game Sunday afternoon on Fox, and that's going to do it for us. A reminder, you can catch full episodes of The Huddle on the Fox local app. Have a great week, everyone, and enjoy the big game.